The town where nobody could sleep. There is a town in America that doesn't exist on any map. No signs point toward it. No GPS can find it. And according to the people who once lived there, nobody had slept for more than 3 days in nearly 20 years. At first, that sounds impossible. Human beings need sleep. Without it, the body begins to fail. The mind begins to break. Hallucinations start. Memories disappear. Eventually, people die. So how could an entire town survive without sleeping? The answer begins with a phone call. On the night of October 17, 1998, police received a strange report from a truck driver. He claimed he had discovered a town in the middle of nowhere, hidden far from any major road. The people looked normal. The houses looked normal. Everything seemed normal, except for one thing. Every window was lit. Every single one. At 3 o'clock in the morning, not a single house was dark. The officer on duty assumed the driver was drunk. The report was dismissed. But 2 days later, another report arrived. Then another, and another. Different people, different stories. The same town, the same glowing windows. Eventually, curiosity got the better of them. A deputy named Daniel Harper decided to investigate. What he found would haunt him for the rest of his life. The town sat at the end of a narrow road surrounded by forest. There was no welcome sign, no town name, no indication that anyone even lived there. Yet dozens of houses stood quietly among the trees. As Daniel drove through the streets, something felt wrong. Children were playing basketball. Stores were open. People were mowing their lawns. Nothing unusual about that, except it was nearly 4 in the morning. Nobody seemed tired. Nobody yawned. Nobody looked exhausted. In fact, everyone appeared strangely energetic, almost too energetic. Daniel stopped a man walking his dog. "Why is everyone awake?" he asked. The man smiled, then gave an answer Daniel never forgot. "We don't sleep here." Daniel laughed. The man didn't. And that's when Daniel realized he was serious. Over the next few hours, he interviewed dozens of residents. Every one of them told the same story. None of them slept. Not at night, not during the day, not ever. And according to them, it had started 20 years earlier, with a sound nobody could explain. A sound that came from deep beneath the town, a sound that only appeared after midnight. And the moment people heard it, they could never sleep again. At first, the residents thought it was temporary, a strange illness, something that would pass. But days became weeks, weeks became months, and sleep never returned. Doctors arrived, scientists arrived, government officials arrived. Nobody could explain it. Nobody could stop it. And then something even stranger happened. The people stopped feeling tired. Their bodies continued working. Their minds remained alert, as if the need for sleep had simply vanished. For a while, it felt like a miracle. People had more time, more energy, more productivity. The town flourished. Businesses grew. Crime disappeared. Everything seemed perfect, until the dreams started appearing. The problem was, nobody was asleep, yet somehow they were dreaming. And every resident began seeing the exact same thing. The same hallway, the same door, the same voice whispering from the darkness, a voice asking them to open it. At first they ignored it. Then the dreams became stronger, more detailed, more real. Soon people couldn't tell whether they were awake or asleep. And that was when the disappearances began. One resident vanished. then another, then 5 more. Each person disappeared after reporting the same dream: the hallway, the door, the voice. And every missing person had written the same final sentence before vanishing: "The door is finally open." What nobody realized was that the worst part wasn't the disappearances. The worst part was what came next. Because 3 months later, the missing people came back. First, everyone celebrated. Families cried. Friends hugged each other. The missing residents looked normal. They sounded normal. They remembered where they lived. But something was wrong. None of them remembered where they had been. Whenever someone asked, they would simply smile. Then they would whisper the same sentence: "You wouldn't understand until you see the door." Daniel Harper immediately reopened the investigation. He interviewed every returned resident. Every answer was identical. Every word. Every pause. As if they were reading from the same script. Then Daniel noticed something even stranger. None of them blinked. Not once. Minutes would pass. Their eyes never closed. And every night at exactly midnight, they all stopped whatever they were doing. They would stand perfectly still, turn toward the forest, and listen to something nobody else could hear. Then came the final disappearance. Daniel Harper vanished. His patrol car was found abandoned near the woods. The driver's door stood open. His flashlight lay on the ground, still glowing. Beside it was a notebook. Inside were only 3 sentences. "I found the source. The sound is real. The door is underneath the town." That was the last time anyone saw him. Search teams spent weeks combing the forest. They found nothing. No tunnel, no cave, no trace of Daniel Harper. Then 1 month later, the sound stopped. For the first time in 20 years, the town became silent. And that night, every resident fell asleep. The next morning, they woke up exhausted, hungry, weak, human again. The dreams were gone. The hallway was gone. The voice was gone. It seemed like the nightmare was finally over. Until a road construction crew arrived 6 months later. While digging outside the town, they uncovered a massive metal structure buried deep underground. A structure older than any building in the area. Older than the town itself. At its center was a door. A single black door. Covered in scratches, as if thousands of people had tried to get out. Authorities sealed the site immediately. The door was never opened, officially. But according to one worker, the handle moved on its own, just once, late at night. And from the darkness beyond it, something whispered, the exact same words heard in the dreams: "Thank you for opening it." The town was abandoned the following year. Today it does not appear on any map. No signs point toward it. No GPS can find it. But truck drivers still report seeing lights in the forest. Entire streets glowing at 3 in the morning. And if you stop and listen carefully, you might hear a sound coming from deep beneath the ground. A sound nobody can explain. A sound that only appears after midnight. And if you hear it, whatever you do, don't open the door. One final photograph was discovered years later. It was found inside Daniel Harper's abandoned evidence locker. The picture showed a dark hallway, a black door at the end, and standing beside it was Daniel, smiling. Behind him, the door was open.